Hello everyone, it's the Patriotic Christian again. So these are some pretty crazy times right now. A lot of people are just completely losing their minds over a scare about a virus. And I just wanted to let you know that I am not concerned about the virus, but I am concerned about some other things. And that is the shutdown. The idea that people are being discouraged from going to work, encouraged to stay home, stuff like this. There are going to be some consequences to this that maybe some of you haven't really seen the result of yet. I mean, certainly you've seen some disruptions in supplies at grocery stores and things like that, but let me explain what I'm talking about, because if this continues, that is going to get worse. There's going to be a shortage of goods. So I drew this up to try and explain what's going on. So I'm calling it the production cycle. So if you understand any of the stuff I've talked about before with economics, you're probably kind of familiar with this already. But so basically the way this works is you would start with some sort of raw materials, or like the base product, or even agriculture, growing a crop and harvesting it. And then it would have to be manufactured or processed, right? So if it's a raw material like ore, then it has to go through different processes of manufacturing into the finished product. And there could be multiple stages along the way, but I did this to be, simplistic about it. And these arrows represent the transport in between, because goods have to be transported from wherever the raw materials come from to wherever they manufacture and process it. But anyway, once you have the finished goods, then it would usually go to a distribution center or some sort of system where it's distributed. And then of course you got retailers, and I know in some cases these days buying online you can actually eliminate the whole retailer part, but it just adds additional transport, which is again what these arrows stand for. And then of course eventually it gets to the consumer and they consume. Now here's the thing though, is consumers consist of people in all of these categories. Okay, so they're actually involved in this process. Okay, and ultimately they're responsible for the production cycle. Okay, because they're involved in every step along the way here. So what happens is if even a small percentage of people, let's say like 5 or maybe 10% of the people who normally contribute to this whole economic cycle, if they stay home, then you're going to see roughly, if 10% stay home, you're going to see 10% reduction in all of these other services, in the transport in between, in the harvesting of raw materials, the distribution, and there's going to ultimately be a shortage. You're not going to be able to get the goods because consumption hasn't decreased. It's the same. Maybe even a little bit more with people hoarding, but consumption is basically the same. The problem is going to be the supply. If we don't keep the supplies up to normal, but we try to keep normal consumption, there will be shortage. And when shortages happen, chaos can happen. People get desperate. And it doesn't even take everyone who has a shortage to take desperate measures. Only a percentage would need to get completely crazy. Now, I realize there are sectors in the economy that can shut down without really impacting us. Casinos, for example, they don't produce anything of real value. All they do is just facilitate the transfer of wealth from one person or entity to another. So they could go away forever and it wouldn't damage our economy overall. But a lot of the other stuff in our economy, you hear people talking about such and such being essential. But the truth is, almost everything in our economy is essential as far as maintaining the normal. So trying to shut down all the non-essential stuff is ludicrous, because you would only be shutting down a small fraction of the overall economy, and then what's the point? So anyway, I just wanted to let you know what I'm concerned about with this whole system, or this whole craziness going on, and so you understand that this is going to lead to a supply shortage, which could destabilize the country as a whole. This is very dangerous, and I believe this is far more dangerous than the virus that everyone seems to be concerned about. Even though it probably is a concern, it's just not as big a concern as what they're going to turn this into by overreacting. So I hope this video was helpful, and I'll catch you on the next one.